Where do you go when life around looks pretty bleak and dreary? Everything's dark and depressing. Maybe there's situations where people are criticising and attacking you, having a go, where there's difficult relationships being experienced. What cheers you up? David knew exactly what worked for him. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Psalm 27 has to be one of the most loved in the whole of the book. It's certainly often quoted, and the words appear in some of our songs. This is because there, in the presence of God, we find the help and the hope. The light shines in the darkness. And David knew, as he unpacks his situation, he knew opposition in a way perhaps that few of us can really comprehend. He says, evildoers assailed him. They surrounded him. An army surrounded him. And a war had broken out against him. He was the head they were hunting. He was the number one target they were after. But David, even in that situation, says, yeah, I will be confident. He's not trite. He's not being superficial or unreal. He's confident because he knows that God is with him. And there is one priority that David holds above them all. In verse 4, he says, one thing I have asked of the Lord, that will I seek after, that I will dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life. Well, what's he going to do there? What's the big deal? He says, to gaze on the beauty of the Lord. There's a beauty in God that refreshes and renews, that sustains and gives cheer, even in the darkest of days. He will hide me in his shelter in the day of trouble. He will conceal me under the cover of his tent, and he will lift me high upon a rock, and my head shall be lifted up above my enemies all around. I will sacrifice with shouts of joy. David knew the place of victory was in the presence of God, and therefore he had to prioritize being there. He familiarized himself with the beauty so that what he saw in God sustained him when his outlook was rather more dreary. The invitation of God comes to us all. It's echoed in verse 8. God has said, seek my face. My heart says to you, O Lord, your face I will seek. We have to spend time seeking the Lord, discovering the beauty that gives the cheer to our hearts. It doesn't just happen. It wasn't something easy and automatic. In fact, towards the end of this psalm, David says, I believe that I shall look upon the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. He's not talking about a victory that comes after death. He's talking about a victory here and now that enables him to rise above such difficult circumstances. Where does it come? Not by panic, not by devising his own way of escape, but by waiting for the Lord. Wait for the Lord. Be strong and let your heart take courage and wait for the Lord. Don't rush, but calm down and look for the face of the Lord. Familiarize yourself with it. Spend time in prayer, in meditation, in reflection upon the word, and the Lord will give you this light.